Hi everyone, how are you doing? So, welcome to class, and this day 11. This is exciting, and I'm so excited to be here. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Christina. Hi, everyone. Glad that you guys are here. So, today we want to look at a fresh topic, a very, very fresh topic, and it's something that you come across when you're working with programming language. You always see it, and it's called function. Okay, so we want to talk about function. So we'll just dive in. I think you might have heard the word function a lot. Okay, but then I want to also say that let's just welcome ourselves. So yeah, let's welcome ourselves. Good evening, everyone. Ivy, good evening. Okay, so let's take some time to welcome ourselves. So while we're doing that, I want to talk about what we did yesterday in brief. So we were able to settle things like, uh, we did things like tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So in other words, we concluded the data structure. Okay, and that is exciting, really, really exciting. Okay, so just a minute. Let me set my mic. Okay, so please confirm if you can hear me now. Can you hear me perfectly? All right. All right. All right. So I'm glad that you can hear me perfectly. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk about function. So, like I said, many of us, many times we've heard about function. There's literally no programming language that you do that you don't hear the word function. And normally, when you use English word, you hear the word function. Okay. So, before I define what we have on the screen, I want to state that a function simply means is a concept in Python that solves things like do not repeat yourself. Okay, so that's what we call DRY. That's dry. Don't repeat yourself. So what it means is that instead of you writing code over and over again, maybe you want to welcome everybody in a class. Whenever any student joins a class, you want to take the name of the student and then say, "Hi, you're welcome to class." Okay, and you want to maybe, yeah, you're welcome to class. Let's leave it basic. So imagine you have 100 students in that class, or maybe every time people are going to be joining the class. So you don't need to be writing a code over and over again. Why not just put it in what we call a function, where when you call it, it is usable at any given time when it is called. It will do the task to perform that task of taking the person's name and saluting the person. And when it's done, it stops until maybe it's triggered again by another user joining. So you see, that's what we call function. It's just repeating task. You are doing task. You are repeating. Um, you are rather than writing code multiple times, You're just putting it in a package, let's say a container in this case. And anytime you want to make use of it, you call it and you make use of it. So how we build functions are very important. I'm giving this background study so that when we start going through the code, we just everybody already know what we are doing. So how we build a function is very important. Uh, Also, when you are building a function, you can decide to say, okay, I want to build it in a way that whenever you want to call this function, you must provide certain criteria. For example, let's say, like I said, a function to greet somebody. If it's a normal function to greet somebody, maybe every morning you want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. You might not need to put anything there. You just say print good morning. So anytime you call the function, it just prints good morning out. But what if we want the function to always say good morning, Gloria, or good morning, wisdom, or good morning, Christiana? So it means that the name of the person is required. So anytime we are calling that function, we need to pass in a name. Okay, that's one way you can build functions. Another way also we can build function is that we can declare a function that just prints to the screen. But it's possible to also declare functions that do specific tasks and return results for us. So once we call, let's say we want to do a function to add two numbers together. If the function is going to add two numbers together, we are definitely going to get a return, which is the result of adding those two numbers together. Now, that function is different from a function that we want to just print hello world or good morning to a user. So, with these few concepts that you know, I've laid the foundation on what functions are, how functions will look like, and we'll touch more on it, and also talk about what we call parameters and arguments, which I'll tell you guys to go and study to understand further what it means, parameters and arguments. Okay, so let's go ahead. What is a function? So in Python, we just flow with Python's concepts. Or so a function in Python is a name block of usable code, okay, that performs a specific task. It is defined using the keyword def. So if you want to declare a function in Python, use the def keyword as a name and it may take input parameters like I was saying and can optionally return a value. Function helps to organize code, promote usability, and improve the overall structure and readability of a program. Function also has what we call documentation inside. So this is a function. These are we define. Let's say this is the def, the function name. You can decide to pass in a parameter or not, and then you put normally a column. Then you indent, write the block of code that you want to do, and you might probably return an expression, or you might not want to return an expression. Okay. So let's say a function without a parameter. This is a function without a parameter and returns value. So what value, not like returns value, is actually printing a value to the screen. So it's not really literally returning, it's printing. So let me select my kernel. Great. So I've built the function. Def, this is the name of the function. You can see there's nothing. I didn't pass anything inside this parenthesis. Now, after the name, every name of a function must have this with it. Okay. So my functions, and then I passed in my stuff and I said print this is a function. So it's not returning any value, it's just printing to the screen. But once you declare a function like this, you have to call it. This is it's more like you've built a car, but if you want to use it, you need to call it forth. That sounds you know sounds I don't know how to describe it, but it sounds somewhere in my ear. But it's fantastic the way it's at. So I'll call this my font. I call the name, and you see that it says this is a function. So it's actually printing this line of code. So let's see. So okay, so I wrote something like this: a function without a parameter. Okay, a function without a parameter and return value. So what I'm saying is that this function does not have a parameter and it does not have return value. That's what I meant here. Okay. So let's look at now a function that does not have a parameter but has a return value. So you see this function I just declared here is different from this function you saw here. They're both different. The common stuff, let me make this thing a little bit so that you see what I'm saying. The common stuff between them is that they don't have parameters. That's what you can see. The both of them don't have parameters. But while one is printing something to the screen with the print function, the other one is returning a value. Is returning a string value. That's the difference between them. Okay. So whatever is when if a function is just printed to the screen, you don't need to save that function. You don't need to put whatever is coming from that function into a variable. No, because it's printed to the screen. So that's why we run this like this and it work. But look at this my font too now. If I run it, I've declared it. Let's say I want to call the function. I think it might work because it's Jupyter notebook. It will work. Okay, it's actually saying this is a number, the second number, but literally, if you let me do something. File, new file. Let me go to a Python file. Yep. So I think I have it. I don't know if I have a test file here. Okay, I don't have a test. I have scripts here now. Okay, so let me go to functions. Okay, let's just take everything off. Great. So I'll drop this and come here. So let's copy this and paste on my Python file. So if I do this and I save it, and let me just save it. I don't want to. If I call this, if I do something like this, my font, because I have to call it my font like this. That's it. So to run it, I'll just click down, try my terminal a little bit down, and then I'll type Python. I think it's Python 3. I'll just type Python. What's the name? The name is scripts. I'm going to script 5. Yep, that's what I'm going to run it. Python not found. Sorry, I'm using my Ubuntu, so I'll use that should be Python 3. So great. Now you can see that nothing was printed on the screen. Nothing was printed on the screen because this is actually a return. It's to return something. Okay, but if I copy this, now I'm beginning to code a little bit. So if I copy this one now, that is, and I paste it here, guys, you pardon me. I'll make my screen a little bit smaller so that I can navigate. So if we comment this one, declare this other function and say, okay, let's call the function. Let's call the function on our screen. So if I save, I just go here and press arrow so that I can run that line. You could see that it's printed. This is a function. So that's the difference between what you have in this first one and this. This is the different common difference. One is printing, so you don't need to save the value. All right. While the other one is actually what returning a value. So for me to get this to print, I'll have to do what we have here. So I'll leave that there. So we'll now save the value inside. That's so I'll take this off. We'll save it that message is equal to my font. So whatever the value is returning, the function is returning, save it to a variable, and then one time we print that variable, we get it. This is a function. This is very, very important. Now, so I want to say something. A function. So functions have what we call docs. So function have docs. Okay, function have what we call docs. So if I do something like print length underscore underscore length dot underscore, you know the length function now. Length function was that function that we I think if I click play here it will just run automatically. Great. So length function is that function that we used in um, finding the total number of something in a list or tuple and all of that. So length has what we call a document. I think I have to stay with where I want to do my class. So let me stay with my notebook. Sorry. and leave this terminal stuff. So if we run it, what is the documentation of length? So it returns the number of item in the container. Now, where does doc comes in place? Doc comes in place where you want to write code that you might have 1,000 functions inside your code, but somebody might just go through it and want to understand what the code is doing. So you are helping the person to kindly understand what a function is doing, and you've made it a simple documentation. So the person can just search dot, that function name dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore, and the person gets what he wants. But it doesn't mean if you don't declare for a documentation, your function will not run. Function will work, but it's just a traditional way to do it. So let's say now this is me creating a function called add two numbers. Okay, creating a function called add two numbers. So this is how I documented. If you want to do a documentation inside the function, you use these three uh, quotes, write in the function that you want to pass in, function that you want to pass in, the function that you want to pass in. This is the function that I want to pass in. This function returns the sum of two numbers. So, but this time we are taking a parameter because we want to add numbers. We need to take the first one and the second one. This is where parameter comes. So anytime we are going to call this function, we need to pass in two values inside it so that we can sum it here. See, this is where we are summing it. We save it into a variable and we are returning the value of it. This is just the basic stuff about how a function looks like. So let me do the dot dot for what we did now. You can see this is a function that returns the number of two, uh, the sum of two numbers. I think Python has its own. Sum is a function in Python. So let's do sum dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. See, Python has its own sum, returns the sum of start value by default plus an iterable. When the iterable is empty, returns the start value. This function is intended specifically to use the numeric values and may reject non-numeric type. So you can see that whilst we built our function that adds two numbers, Python has its own sum, something that you can use to sum two numbers. And you can see their own documentation. It's a little bit quite richer than what we fixed here by ourselves. So good practice is ensure your function has a documentation. So if I give you an assignment and say use function to do something, ensure your function has a documentation inside. Great. So let's call. So now we want to call the function add two numbers. We're going to provide the two numbers that we want to call, and we're going to run it. It's going to give us 9. So what happens if we don't add two numbers? For example, we just do sum and we don't put anything here. Maybe we want to now print our sum out for us. We're going to get an error. It's going to tell us that adding two numbers is missing two required position arguments. Now let me explain something. There's a difference between arguments and, just a minute, guys. I need to work on my sound. Sorry. Okay. Wisdom is asking if sir, can the parameters and the parentheses. You are the one saying you want to add two numbers. Like yes, now the more you, because you say you want to add two numbers, it's only two numbers you are using. So the parameters, see, nothing is fixed. I just want you to know that nothing is fixed. It is you that is building it. If you want to add 10 parameters inside, whatever, as long as you know you want to use it within the function, right? We are doing two because that's what we want to use. If we want to say um that's one thing about sum. Like this sum variable now, sum can take more than two. If you do something like sum 10, comma, I think sum takes a list or something like that. I don't know, or maybe a tuple. I don't know. Let me check. I think I think what sum does is that it takes what's it called? What are the parameters that this thing take again? It takes iterable parameters. Okay, so can you imagine? I've forgotten how to use some. So let's say I have something like let me say something like I've forgotten how to use some. Let me have a tuple first. Let me pass 10, 19, and 10, for example. Oh, so int is not and so I've forgotten how to use some. Can you imagine? So let's say I have something like let's say I have something like yes, I'm trying to put my head because I know you can use some for a lot of stuff. Let's say I have a list. My underscore list is equal to 10, 30, and 40, and 10. Yeah, for example, I want to say some, what is the sum of my underscore list? Let me see what's happening. I'm not putting on that again. Let me see, it's equal to average, for example, AVG, for example. Let me see, I don't know what's going on. Wait, so what's saying? Int is not, or have I? Let me see what I've done. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I've not done rubbish because sometimes it's possible. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Now I know what I've done. Now I know what I've done. Convert a number of. Oh, I know what I've done. Look at me. So I think I've changed the what's it called? Oh, I've changed um the sum. I've divided the sum into the reserved word for sum. I've changed it into something else. So that's why I'm having convert a number of string to an integer or return zero if not. No, this is wrong. So I've done something. I think here should I've done something to the sum. So I need to restart my kernel. So I have to restart my kernel. For me, yeah, I will change it to something like let's say total. But I don't think that happens too much. Okay, I don't think that should I don't think that should affect what I'm doing, but so I think I need to change that place to total. Okay, so let's go ahead. No, let's not go ahead. Let me sort my issue out so that I'll teach you guys how to sort that thing up. So what I was doing, I think is right. Well, let me see. Let me start my kernel again. So what I've done is that I think I over some is a reserve word, so I think I've used I've assigned a variable into some. So let's use this one. Okay, so if I run dots now, I don't want to run this thing so that I don't overdo do my mistake again. So I'll make this one not I'll make this one total. I'll just make this thing total and not sum. So that was when I made my mistake. Maybe I'll make this thing total. Okay, so if I run this one now, I'll get 9. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I think this is where I made my error. So yeah. So if I have something like my list is equal to 10, 20, and 30, and I say let me say this one is summation. Let me say let me just say summation. See, I'm trying not to use sum because sum is a reserve word. I don't want to spoil it my list. so that I don't run into the error I'm having again. So if I say print summation, now you can see I've sorted out my problem. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I zoomed out because I was explaining two different line of code. So I'm zooming back. So you can see that it's actually working. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now my thoughts as okay. So we are still looking at this function that adds two numbers together. That's what we are still looking at. So like I said, you have to pass the two numbers when you are calling them. You have to pass the two numbers, and careful to just convert it into total. Don't want issues. Okay. So another way you can also use that add function add numbers is that you can also it doesn't mean you have to declare the exact value within the argument. Now your first assignment is to study what is the difference between a parameter and argument. Just go and study that. I need the answer on the group, so everybody study it. Type your findings on the Slack channel. Okay. Yes, now I said you don't use reserve words now. Can't use reserve words as variable. All right. So let me check if my someone says you cannot hear. So let me see if my sound is still up. Can you guys hear me? Okay, this is a YouTube stream. I think the person is behind. Okay, so the person has to move forward. All right, so let's go ahead. So, Susan, you catch up with us. So like I said, you can fix it and then you run it and you get your answer. Same way goes to you can decide to say the user should impute what they want to impute, and so I'll do total here again. I'll do total here again, and then I'll run it. So this time it's asking me which number I want to enter. So I can say 40, and I want to enter 70. So that will give me 110. You can see it's interactive. So this is a function I created and I'm using it. So anytime I want to add two numbers, as long as my code is concerned, I'll call those functions. Let's look at a normal function to greet somebody. So this is the function I was talking about, that you want to greet somebody. So you create a function called greet because we need the name of the person that want to greet. We'll take that thing as a parameter. Now, let me answer something for you. When you are building a function and you are declaring a variable that is needed for that function, okay, maybe that you want to use within this function now, like what you have on my screen. I'm declaring a variable called name inside the after the function in the parentheses because I want to use it to build my function or within my function. Now we are calling it, that's what we call it a parameter. This is a parameter you are declaring. Okay. Okay. So when you run something like this now, you've declared the variable greet. Now the function, sorry, greet. Now when you want to use it, because we need to pass in a value inside. All right, we want to pass in a value inside. So we need to take that's what we are taking from the user. The user should enter their name. But you see that when I'm calling this function greet, I'm passing the value user inside. Now I'm passing that value because I'm telling the function that hey, that name that you need, okay, is saved. The value that you need to run, okay, that I called name is saved inside here. So use it to run do your stuff. Now passing it inside here is what we call arguments. When you are building the function, it's called a parameter. Okay, when you are calling it, it becomes an argument. That's the difference. So if I run this now, I'll just type God's gift, which is my name, and it's going to say hello God's gift. So anytime you call that function, it's going to be printing hello God's gift. So I want to also teach us functions that the maximum number in a list using the mass inbuilt function. First of all, there is a function called mass. Okay, is an inbuilt function called mass. You can use it to find which number is the maximum number in a list. Okay, doesn't mean because 50 is at the last, that's why it's the maximum. No. If we set 100 here and we run this, it will tell you that 100 is the maximum number. So let's find the documentation of. So let's say print mass dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore and run it. So this is the documentation of maths. Okay, these are for, so everything in Python is there for learning also, so you can easily just learn. Okay, so but what if we build our function that does the same? What if we build our function? Let's build a function Python was the one. So people in Python built this maths function and they gave it, they made it available. But what is the brain behind it? So this is me now building it, telling that this is how they did it. So what they did was that this is a list. They want to get the maximum number in a list, the highest number in a list. So we'll take our function. Our function will take a list as its what? As its parameter. Now that we are building it, our function will take a list as its argument when you are calling it. But when we are building it, it will take a variable or a parameter called LST. Now, do you see that I did not name it something like list? If I name it something like list, I'm in trouble because list is a keyword. So I don't want to spoil my code. That's why I do LST. You saw me, guys. Now everybody in this class saw me battling with what's it called, with sum, because I mistakenly use it as a variable. That's what you get when you use reserve word as variable. So we have list, and the maximum number is equal to. So what we are doing is that, remember the zero, in the zero will give us the first item in the list. So we are assuming that, okay, what if the first item in the list is the maximum number? Save it as a maximum number. So now that we are going to save the first item as a maximum number, but then we need to run a loop. What they now did is that they ran a loop in the list. So when you run a loop in the list, it's going to be picking out every numbers that you have in that list. So once we pick it for number in the list, if the number that we have picked from the list is greater than what we previously saved as a maximum number, replace our maximum number with that number. And at the end of the day, when you are done looping through the list, return the value that wins, the highest value that meets the condition. Return it. That's our answer. So that's how they did it. So if we do the same thing here, you can see that 180 is our maximum number. So we got 180. So this is the idea about a function. I don't want to teach. So this is a calculator function. I'm not going to do this because I'll just pass it, because I want you guys I want you to do something like that for me. So if you're wise, you know what to do. I'll just pass it. But if I give you an assignment, if I give that assignment, which I'm going to do. Today is Wednesday, so I decided to say, okay, weekends we get assignments, midweek we get assignments. So your midweek assignment is simple. You will do it and upload the file. I will not give it to me. There's no need of doing what's it called? There's no need of doing objective. You just do it and upload the file for me to see. But this is I think this is on our YouTube channel. Palindrome. Palindrome simply means words that, if you spell it from the left to right and right to left, they are the same thing as palindrome. So let's say we have something like, I want to show you something. Let's say we have, I'm trying to run away from my results. So let's say we have me is equal to a word is equal to loss, for example. Okay. If I do something like this, print the word, and I want to index it by all, it's going to print losses out for me. Okay. Remember, list can be sorted. String can be sliced because they are what? They are iterable. They are sequence. They have sequence. So because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what if I do 2 minus 1? I want to do from the start to minus 1. I will get something like this. Uh, it will omit S for me because I want to start from the start 0, 1, 2, and then I want to exclude the last number. But what if I do something like this? Dot dot and I run it. I'm going to get nonsense. What if I put 1 in between here and I run it? What would I get? I'm getting N. So it means that what it's saying is that it's only picking N. That's what I want. But what if I want 1 here and I run it? I'm going to get full nonsense. Okay. What if I put 2? I'm going to get NROS. So what is happening? It will take the first one, 0. It skips the next one. So this is a step. Take the first one, 0. Skip the second one. Take the third one. Okay. Skip the other one. Takes S. Great. So it is skipping. Now since it's skipping, what if I want it to reverse? What if I want to now reverse it? That it should pick from here, pick from the last to the just be going to the end. I'll do minus 1. So if I do minus 1, sure you see that it has turned to say now. So let's say we do something like not says run, right? I think so. What's the way they do that palindrome that if you spell it from the back and whatever is not or something. But you get the idea of what I'm saying. Okay, so this is how we twist the word. So imagine this newspaper. I want to twist it from the last to the beginning. So I'll just do it. You can say newspaper. That's how it's been sorted out. So this is just a function that does it. So anytime I want to check if a word is a palindrome, I will just call this function. So return palindrome if whatever string we are entering, okay, the string we want to enter, if it's equal to the reverse of that string, okay, S, call it not palindrome. You can see now, one thing I want to show you if you are very, very vigilant, this is me running an if statement on one line, determine what the value of a variable will be based on that if statement I'm running. And I'm setting the value here. So you can come and look at this. This is very cute, very, very good. Okay, it's a very, very good way of writing code. So our stuff still has documentation. So let's make it like this. Let me do something. Great. This is our documentation. So run it, check if a number is there. So not this run now. I was saying it. Okay, not this run, not palindrome. Oh, not palindrome. So guys, give me a word I can use to test it. Um, so I know it's returning a value, but I can, because it's collab, I can call it and pass a value. So what do you think I should pass in now? So who's giving me a word? Oh, great, level. I like that. Level. You can see that level is a palindrome. That's great. That's great. So let's keep doing what we are doing. Let's keep going on. So you already understand what I mean now by when we say something is palindrome. You guys understand already. So fantastic. Madam, yes, Madam is palindrome. So we also have a function that what is this? What is this? What do you call this? At the site of it, what do you call it? Okay, rather is a palindrome. Yeah, that's good. Rather. Okay. What do you call what I've highlighted on the screen right now? What's the concept? Anybody on the comment section? I'm still waiting. List comprehension. Yes, thank you, wisdom. This is list comprehension. So this is just the list comprehension. So say we want to return all even. And you can see that now return can be a value or return can even be an expression. In the function, you can be returning a value or you can even return an expression. So this is this. We'll run it. It's going to return. What did I do? Have I run this? I ran this. And what's the error I'm getting? For SS. Sorry. Yes. What's the issue? For S. Okay. How are we getting an error? Int is not. What have we done again? The def. Okay. So we are returning. Is she returning this? So what's not the issue? I'm trying to see what the type int object is not subscribable. Int object number one. Even squares. Numbers. Okay, wait. I think I know what's the issue. So I think what's the issue is that is an integer. You cannot don't mind me guys. It's an integer. So you cannot what's it called? You can't iterate it. Let me do something. Let me see what is the end of this and see what we have. No. I think what I need to do is that we need to guys, why am I coding too much today now? So we need to look through this. We have to look through the numbers for us to be able to be checking it. So this has to be a list. This has to be a list. So I'll do 10, something like that. Yes, 10, 20. Or let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Just or let me just do a range function. Let me just say numbers underscore list is equal to list of range, and we want to do 20. So start of 20. Great. So then we'll pass this number list inside a function, and then we'll call it now. So here will be this place should be even numbers anyway, not squared. Should be even numbers. Even numbers because I'm not doing the squared. So, yeah, this place should be even numbers. So yeah, run it. So we get the even numbers. So we need to list through. We need to run a loop on this. So literally this will take a list. I don't know if I have port type. I don't know if I have type. I could have used type on my system to say that this is a list, and that's what we are returning. So that I know that we are returning a list. Okay, so you can do something like this to determine what is the what variable we are returning. Okay, so that it knows that is a list. If no argument is given, the constructor returns an empty list. The argument must be a the triple we specify. So we are saying that this thing must be a list. Okay, you can do things like that when you want to pass in a single parameter in a you want to pass a parameter in the function and you want to let the user know that this is what you should pass in. So that's what I just did here. That here you must pass a list so that the person doesn't forget. Okay, so what happens if the person now calls the function, this function now, and maybe passing number like 20 and run it, see, to still give us an error that it's not what is needed. Okay, so but when you over through the function now, you notice that it's telling that it is returning a list. That is what is returning. So I think there's a way also we can do that. So we can say it's returning a list. Can do that. So this is me becoming making the function a little bit function declaration a little bit advanced for you, but there's a way you can do it so that we know that at the end of this list, what we are saying that at the end of this function must return a list. Okay. Same way with the way we are doing this one, this palindrome. Where's our palindrome? We can say that this should be a string, to be a string, and it's going to return. What's it going to return? It's going to return a string for us too. That's what it's doing. It's returning a string, either true or false. But if we say we want to say that, let me copy this. Hey guys, I'm becoming a little bit more technical with code. I just want to make it a little bit simpler, but let me put this here. What if we want to say if it's palindrome, return true, S if it's not, return false. So in this case, we are not returning a string again. Okay, we are not returning a string again. So I'll turn this to we are returning a bool, but we are going to take a function. So I'll run this. Now, if I come back here and maybe I want to call this function and I paste it here. By the time I over, it tells you that you pass in a, so you say check if the number reverse same, but you are passing in a string, but you want the answer to this is going to be a pool. So if I do level, like the way we say we should do, I'll get either a true or a false. If I do levels, I'll get a false. So I hope I'm not too big technical about the function, but I just want to keep it simple. But this is one of the best ways again you can write. I think this is available in Python from Python 11 above. You can do this from Python 11 above. I don't know. I don't know if you can do that from Python 10, but I know from Python 11 to 12 you can do this. I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah. 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 So these are ways you can write. So I have some couple of functions there, but there are no needs to explain more about them because I'll give them to you as an assignment. These are just kept for me. So I will talk about this function scope. So I'll talk about function scope because I want you guys to understand what is a function scope. So a function scope has to do with how we declare variables because it's very, very. Somebody said, Gloria said, sign. uh, a student asked me a question. Said, how do you learn these things? How do you put all of these in your head? And I said to the students that there is no day that goes by that I don't code Python script. There's no day. Maybe it's a Sunday, maybe it's Sunday, but there's no literally no day for how many years. You understand? So it's something that you practice it, and not just code. You study, you read, you watch videos. Okay, what is new in the community? These are very important if you want to stay relevant. Okay, so I remember the first time I was no when Python was not what I learned first. So learning Python was not that too difficult for me because I already know other programming language. But I started learning programming language with C programming language, and it's a little bit more complex than the C. I did C plus plus. I even did a little bit of Java, Pascal. I remember then when I was in school, they'll talk about Python. I was like, I beg, I don't have time for that one, self. But come on, this is me using Python every day. Okay, so that's life for you. Okay, so we go ahead and we'll talk about global. So what's mean by global? The way you guys are shouting in my head, oh, I hope is it that I'm not teaching it well, or I need to ask, or you are not understanding what I'm saying, or you're understanding what I'm saying, or what's the review? Let me hear. Okay, great. We'll get there. Yeah, you surely get there. You surely get there. Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to wait for a comment because I want to know what's the issue. 'Cause I'm seeing my very one bar this. So let me know. Is there any issue? Since everyone is saying my brain won't blast and all that. Is there any issue? Guys, nobody's commenting again now. Okay, let me see where I have to. Okay, since nobody's commenting, let me just focus on finishing the notebook and trust you come back here and watch the video. So, so let's just go ahead. Okay, so it says, okay, so I say no issue. I understand, but it just feels like it's a lot at the moment. We are beginners in this. You are not a beginner anymore. As long as you can do print hello world and you've done your week one assessment, you're not a beginner again. Your beginning stage was in the orientation class. So too much knowledge in one class. Trying to keep up. Yeah, that's why you have the video. You can come and watch the video. Okay, so what we'll do is this. Fine, let's not stress ourselves too much since some persons are already complaining of overload of information. I don't like to stress people with overload of information. So what we can do is that we can come back tomorrow and start with functions variable scope and finish it up and see what we can do from there. Okay, so yeah, so I think with that, guys, I'll just let's leave the class the way it is so that you guys can always come back to the video and watch. Maybe after the end of the class, when you are more relaxed, you can come back and watch again. But to make you understand that I'm going to give you an assignment. So I'm going to give you an assignment. So that will make you practice it. Okay. So there's nothing like coding to learn. Okay. Okay. So I think the assignment I'm going to give us is let me put that up. Let me put the assignment up I want to give you guys. So just give me a minute. Let me search for my assignment folder. I have it. Okay. 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 Let me search this drive. Okay. Laura said yes. Basic. Let's look for. I'll just give you like I think I've done majority of the stuff. Okay. No. The ones I'm saying I've done none of them. Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. But if you have any question, please ask your question. Ask your question. Ask your question. No. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. Okay, let's do this one. Let's do this one. You guys can solve this one. So let's do this. I'm going to paste it on the so write a function that calculates grade. So I'm going to give you the way I said we should always do it. So write a function grade takes a list of students. Okay. So yeah, so once it does that, the next thing I want to do. Okay, great. So let's put this like this. Hi, can you still hear me? So I don't know how this will come out on the comment section, but let me see how it will come out. But I know some persons can arrange it. Gloria, try your best to arrange this thing for me. Okay, so this is the assignment I want us to do. I'm showing it on the screen right now. So I want you to, Gloria, please let me put it on the Slack channel. I think I have Pip on my. Okay, I think I have Pip channel on my system, so I'll just copy it and paste here. Great. So it's on the Slack channel now. I pasted it using Pip account because I currently have access on Pip account. So you can check it on the Slack channel. I've posted the assignment there. So I want you guys to use this to just rehearse what we've learned, practice what we've learned, and then we'll come start from um, um, variable scope. But you can do this, and I like the fact that I've showed you what it's practical. What I wrote, what I just showed you is what is you are saying there. So you are not confused. You can guide yourself using when I say you are passing a list, returning this. So you can guide yourself by what I've shown you guys there. So, do I have any question? Does anyone want to ask me any question? Does anyone want to ask me any question? Okay. Great, fantastic. So someone says, "Fan say the typing join what is over the typing join what is over Windows, sounding like those hackers we seen." Okay. Bye. Hey, it's all right, guys. So let's not waste much of our time since we don't have any question. You guys, let me leave you. I've been there before, not just when you're learning. I've learned some other stuff, and my God, to seem as if they should open the floor and for you to just go and look for somewhere and rest. Okay, I know what it means, but the idea is that when you're done resting, come and solve what is in front of you. That's what makes you a better person, and that's what the skill is, and that's what will take you far. Okay. Right. I think I saw a tweet on a lady posted something on Twitter. She posted where she was 4 years ago and where she is right now. And she said, when you devote 4 years of your life to Python, and she has made tremendous progress. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, I like the vibe. I was trying to envy the girl, like, hey, this is nice. Then I remember, like, think about yourself since you've been learning Python to now. Come on, look at the tremendous success you have achieved. I like, yeah, that's true. So someone said, I still don't understand the doc, sir. So when you, okay, Grace, Gloria, the doc is very simple. It's just for you to, oh, Francis, you saw that post. Yeah, thank you. Saw that post. So I think that will motivate you. Just say way Gloria sent a YouTube video on the Slack channel. We need to send that post to the Slack channel so that everybody learn. Anyways, Gloria, regarding the doc, it's very, very simple. It's like you are writing an introduction to what a function does on top of the function before you write everything that you want to build in that function. So that somebody who might not want to go into that function to start looking for how you build the function, they can just do doc, and then you get the answer. They get what they want to do. But I'll also show you another way of how to build a function that somebody can easily understand by using the typing format to it. Okay, guys. Yeah. If they said, yeah, practice makes perfection. Yes. Fantastic. All right. So I think we are good, and let's communicate more on the Slack channel. Thank you guys for being around. Thank you for joining. This is day 11. I'll see you in day 12. We're almost there. Cheers.